Happy Wednesday. It's hump day. That really came out wrong, but hey, good morning, everybody. I always have to laugh. One of my friends sent me, I think, maybe the meme of the year, at least so far. And I look, I got this a bunch of guys I went to college with. We've been on this text message chain. There's 10 of us on the same text message chain. And they send me 20 memes a day, 20 jokes a day. We talk about shit. We laugh about shit. Because we always, as a group of guys, we get together once a year at the end of April of a year. We might not be able to do it this year, but we've been, the texts about starting about January, the texts start rolling in again. And good Lord. This one in particular just cracked me the hell up. And so I'm just going to show it to you. I just tweeted it out if you happen to be on my Twitter. But for those of you who are not on Twitter, I thought this was freaking hilarious. And also quite apropos. So here's our pre-show joke of the day. Let me make sure this fits on the screen. And there it is. Oh, Johnny, play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Night. Stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live on this fantastic hump day. Wednesday, March 25th, 2020. It's the 293rd episode of the Morning Night Live. 7 more till 300. Also my birthday. Also 600 subscriber special next Friday, a week from Friday. Make sure you're here. Tell all your friends, neighbors, loved ones, and other. I don't know what you describe as other, but yeah, other. So today I was in a quandary when I decided to put my show together because I was thinking, there's a couple stories that they're both, in a way, they're both Darwin Award stories. One is a human Darwin Award story where people died. I know you all heard about it, but I have some insight into that story, so just so there. And then the other is a political Darwin story where a particular politician may have caused the temporary death of their party. And it's just crazy, I'm telling you. But before we get into any of that, let's say good morning to everybody. Rolling up the excuse me. Try not to rub my face. Oh, well, whatever. By the way, I do have my cup of reparations coffee in hand, or at least next to my keyboard. I hope I don't spill it. And all the other stuff. Anyway, good morning to Zero the Hero, who got the bell because he was here first. Good morning, Gun Fox 61, who sent me a really good article about the bill that I'm about to talk about sometime during the show. Also, good morning to Jay Wolf, Tyler F, Duck Dog, who says losers. What is that all about? Whatever. It's. I'm sure it is a term of endearment today. Good morning to Grillin' Pirate Pete, the Dead Kaiser, Mike Savage, Truckin' Bear, Richo, my friend from Down Under, MC, Hammer Time, and D.I. Freighter, Mike Savage. Oh, I already said Mike Savage. Blarg. Good morning, Mike Savage again. I'll say it twice. There you go. And let's see, lots of repeats here. Y'all are pretty active already. Cynical Lindsay, Sean, good morning. Chi-Town Jay, Advocatus Diaboli, Keenan, the gang, is all here, and I'm very happy about it. Now I got to figure out real quick. I gotta turn that off because I'm gonna put my music on. I found a couple stories for the hashtag. Good, I'll be checking the hashtag today. If you don't know the hashtag, that is hashtag PDK News. If you have stories you want me to check out. I also do some from email, but it's hard from email because Gunfox fills my email box every day. But no, I'm just kidding. I do appreciate what you send me, Gunfox. Let's see. What should the music choice of the day be? You know what? I'm going to go with a hip hop background today. Now I haven't really listened to a lot of the hip hop stuff these guys put in here, but we're gonna do that. So let's see here. Let me make sure. Oh, I turned that sound off. I didn't have this set up ahead of time, so I'm gonna try to keep it so it's not blasting your ears out. Yeah, it's just gonna be beats and music day. All right, here we go. Here's the music of the day. You can barely hear it because I don't have it turned up yet, but you'll hear it when it starts thumping. All right. My undead army will rise from the grounds, from the battlefields of the Great War. We will take France, then America. All hail, Kingdom of Germany. Okay, you're making me nervous there, DK. All right, so let's talk a little bit about, well, lots of reasons. Why you shouldn't ingest things that you're not 100% sure about, especially if they're just something that perhaps a doctor is supposed to prescribe, not subscribe, to prescribe. So you've all heard the story, and we talked about it yesterday briefly, I think. Did we talk about this yesterday? The Arizona couple. Play some 2 Live Crew. No, I'm not playing any 2 Live Crew. Come on now. So, as you know, there's a certain couple in the state of Arizona who, okay, just fucking retards, who decided that fish tank cleaner is a useful and safe drug for preemptively treating coronavirus. And the media chose to blame the president. Okay, now I know the story on the stimulus package is important, but it's on my mind. It's been on my mind all night. And I've been reading lots of stuff about it. And so Axios is a news outlet who actually, they're one of the few that kind of apologize for this, but here's what they did. Axios, we have deleted this tweet and corrected our story because it did not reflect the full nature of the self-medication done with an additive commonly used to clean fish tanks. Yes, these people ingested something that had the word chloroquine in the name, and they heard the word chloroquine in a press conference. That is one of the drugs they're doing some testing on. And so they thought, well, we'll just take some of it preemptively. Well, this product was not chloroquine or hydroxychloroquine. This product was chloroquine sulfate. Or phosphate, excuse me, chloroquine phosphate. And now, first of all, chloroquine itself, we remember the other day we read the story where it said 2 grams of chloroquine could kill you after Donald Trump was talking about it. And we looked up that story. We're like, wait a minute, 2 grams of chloroquine? 2 grams of chloroquine is more than double the recommended dose, or the clinical use dose of chloroquine as a treatment for malaria and a couple other things. More than twice the dose. And of course, more than twice the dose of many. Some say chloroquine, some say chloroquine. I said chloroquine before, and then my wife, the RN, said chloroquine. I don't know. It's one of the two. I'll stick with chloroquine because that's how I used to say it. All right. A double dose of a lot of drugs would kill you. If you took twice as much insulin as you were supposed to, it would kill you. You know what? If you drink too much water, it can kill you. Okay, so I thought that article, it just was stupid right off the bat. However, here's what they originally posted. A man has died after ingesting chloroquine phosphate as one of the anti-malarial drugs that Trump has mentioned in recent days. Now here's the problem with Axios' retraction. So they said we deleted this tweet, but then they did a screenshot of the tweet, which still has the wrong information. So if you're looking at this correction, the bigger picture that you see, chloroquine phosphate, one of the anti-malarial drugs that Trump has mentioned in recent days. No, it's not one of the anti-malarial drugs that Trump has mentioned in recent days. Chloroquine or hydroxychloroquine, chloroquine or hydroxychloroquine is the anti-malarial drug that Trump has mentioned in recent days. They're two completely different products. Now, it's chloroquine phosphate is lethal to humans. It's not even, it's chloroquine, hydroxychloroquine. For example, let's do, well, here, I was tweeting about this yesterday because I was being a sarcastic prick, which sometimes I am on Twitter. And here's the thing. So where's my I had a little stream here, little thread here. Okay, here we go. Here's the rub. Hey, I hear drinking lots of dihydrogen monoxide can be really good for you. Hey, here's some hydrogen peroxide I found in the medicine cabinet. Oh, great. Bring me a glass. Dihydrogen monoxide is a name for water. Hey, I hear sodium chloride can really enhance the flavor of your food, also known as salt. Hey, here's some sodium hydroxide. Close enough. Pass it over here. I want to put some on my fries. Sodium hydroxide is drain cleaner. Sodium chloride is salt. Hey, I hear calcium is really good for your bones. Oh, well, this says calcium chlorate. Oh, I hope it tastes good. Calcium is good for your bones. Calcium chlorate is what you do to melt ice on your driveway in the winter, and it will kill you. So it's not the drug that Trump mentioned in recent days. It's not the chloroquine phosphate is not the drug that Trump mentioned in recent days. Now, so all the media went crazy. Now this Heidi Prisbilla, and I bet, let's see if her thread's still up, because this is embarrassing if it's still up. I hope she took it down. Okay, here it is. This is a thread by someone at NBC News. Yeah, the chloroquine phosphate, is it phosphate? Whatever. Yeah, it absolutely said not for human consumption on the label. All right, so here's this. Now this is a typical thread that we saw yesterday. Her husband is dead, and she's in the ICU after ingesting chloroquine. Nope. We saw Trump on TV, every channel, and all his buddies, and this was safe, she said. Trump kept saying it was basically pretty much a cure. No, he did not. He said that the FDA was testing it to see if it would be useful. He did not say it was a cure. She implored Van Heater to educate the people because Arizona man dies after ingesting chloroquine in an attempt to prevent coronavirus. There are no drugs approved to try to prevent or treat the new coronavirus. Self-medication to prevent the coronavirus can be dangerous and possibly deadly. Well, yeah, no shit. If you don't, you wouldn't know how much to take. So she continues. The couple did not have coronavirus symptoms, but took the chloroquine phosphate. Now look, now it's changed. Chloroquine phosphate. That's different than chloroquine. The chloroquine phosphate as a preventative measure. They feared contracting coronavirus. Well, gee, no media hype about coronavirus in the news right now, is there? I was in the pantry stacking dog food. I just saw it sitting in the back shelf and thought, hey, isn't that the stuff they're talking about on TV? And it was. Hilliard interviewed her from her hospital bed over the phone. This is the most horrible day of my life, and it feels like my heart is broken and it'll never mend. It's just broke dead, like my husband. I'm 61, my husband's 68. We're healthy, no underlying conditions, no diabetes, no lung issues, nothing. Oh my God. Don't take anything. Don't believe anything. Don't believe anything that the president says in his people because he don't know what he's talking about. And don't take anything. Be so careful to call your doctor. This is heartache and I'll never get over. And then they did some audio from the video. And then all the way down here, so they, oh my God, this is the, and then all the way down here at the bottom of her thread, she finally says, the toxic ingredient they consumed was not the medication form of chloroquine used to treat malaria in humans. Instead, it was an ingredient listed on a parasite treatment for fish. Now, it's completely bullshit journalism, but you know what? There were a lot of articles like this, and for example, let's go down the line here. Let's see, is this the one? All right, let's start with the Washington Post, the Washington Compost. Okay, here's their article. A man thought aquarium something was the same as antiviral drug chloroquine. It killed him. Here's Salon. Man dies from ingesting cleaner containing chloroquine after Trump hypes treatment for coronavirus. An Arizona man died after ingesting a fish tank cleaner that contained chloroquine phosphate after President hyped an unproven drug treatment for the new coronavirus in spite of warnings from Dr. Anthony Fauci. Well, wait a minute. They said it was being tested. The unidentified man and his wife, both in their 60s, heard Trump talk about the potential benefits of hydroxychloroquine, a drug traditionally used to treat malaria. The wife told NBC News, she said the name sounded familiar because she previously used a cleaner containing chloroquine to treat her koi fish for parasites. Well, maybe you should try some sodium hydroxide too, because that would be some tasty stuff and it probably could get rid of your rickets. Hello, lamented guy, Mr. Scott. And I think that's everybody. Okay, so that's Salon. Man poisoned by fish tank cleaner after President Trump named drug as coronavirus cure. But they died. They tried chloroquine phosphate. First of all, do you ever take drugs without your doctor? Do you think a prescription drug? But now, so all these articles talking about it, died of fish tank cleaner. Man dies taking fish tank chemical to prevent coronavirus. That's a whole different story. So I was getting kind of pissed about this the other day because I'm thinking, wait a minute. How could anyone make this mistake? It specifically says on the packaging. In fact, let's pull up a package of this fish tank cleaner. Fish tank. Well, here I think it's in this Ace of Spades article here. So here's let's see, where is it here? Let's look at this. So she kept going and going and going. What the hell happened there? Oh, she kept going and going on and on and on about this. Here is a package of chloroquine phosphate. Big orange sign right there. Not for human consumption. Not reef safe, toxic to all algae, corals, worms, blah, blah, blah. But it's like a big orange thing, right? Not for human consumption. Now, here's the other problem. So you're kind of wondering, okay, so people are blaming Trump for this, right? Now, first of all, you're confusing a chemical cleaner with an FDA-approved drug, that's straight up Darwin Awards, and taking it without a prescription and without the advice of a doctor, not even knowing how much to take, and you're taking fish tank cleaner. But where would you ever get the idea that this might be the same thing? Because everyone's pissed off at Trump, right? Well, let's take a look at what the media might have said about it. Right here, the media conflated prescribed anti-malaria medication with a fish tank treatment and then tried to blame Trump for the idiots who started purchasing it, because this shit has been selling. You can't get this right now. The price of it has gone up. It's been sold off the market. And guess how that happened? Because you can't buy chloroquine without a prescription in the United States or the UK. Now, it's used pretty commonly like in West Africa, where they do have problems with malaria, and people know, I mean, it's as common that, now in fact, there was an overdose. Someone actually overdosed on chloroquine too in the last couple of days. And they put that story in the media, and then they failed to tell you that the people who overdosed on chloroquine in that story, which was the actual malaria drug, were in Nigeria. But anyway, here's a gem from the Daily Mail. Fish tank treatment uses the same chemical and drug Trump claims could be a game changer for treating coronavirus, despite zero proof, and prices for it have surged to $500. Are you fucking kidding me? So the Daily Mail said that, does this just make it sound like, that it's this fish tank treatment is the exact same thing as hydroxychloroquine? And it's been selling out. And then here's another one. New York Post. Sales of fish tank additives skyrocket after studies say it could treat coronavirus. I want to see if the New York Post has taken this damn article down. That's just some, what is it here? Sales of fish tank additive. Let's look it up. DuckDuckGo. Sales of fish tank additive. Let's see if this New York Post article is still up. Good God. They still haven't taken this damn article down. Studies say the fish tank additive could treat coronavirus. Price for an additive used to clean fish tanks have skyrocketed after studies found the pharmaceutical drug version of it may treat the coronavirus, a report said. Chloroquine phosphate is used in aquariums to kill some organisms like algae that may harm fish. Sellers on eBay and other websites hiked prices in March, and buyers were willing to shell out large amounts of cash for the substance. Storyful found. No, there's not even an update on this fucking article. Are you kidding me? Hello? Somebody at the New York Post, take that shit down. But wait, there's more. I'm gonna go. Let's see. I know I've had some more of these. Let's see. Oh, that's in my replies. Hang on a second here, because I cannot believe. So yeah. So if you're wondering why there's people out there who might think taking chloroquine phosphate might be a good idea. Yeah, there's plenty of dumbasses out there. Here's another one. Okay, so here's the one. Fish tank product has the same chemicals U.S. is studying for COVID-19. Sales of fish tank additives skyrocket after studies say... Oh, sorry, it's not even on the full screen there. Oops, hang on. Sorry, guys. And here's one. Valley News Live. Old drug, new tricks. Fish tank additive may treat coronavirus. Yes. Yes, calcium chloride, a food seasoning, may help melt snow on your driveway. Oh, sodium chlorate or phosphate? Sodium phosphate? What is it? Sodium phosphate? I can't remember which one. Oh, calcium chlorate. That's the one. It's unfreaking believable. Oh, thank you, Mr. Scott. First super chat of the day through the PDawg Night.live website or Streamlabs, which is the same thing, basically. Thank you, Mr. Scott. My mining stocks are up 50% from last week. Have some shekels for the PDawg cave. P.S. If you get bored of the Corona talk, you can look up 1981 CBS News special report on what would happen to Omaha if it was nuked. Red Scare. Oh, we might have to do a special show for that one. Thank you, Mr. Scott. I appreciate it. All right, so it's amazing. Here's the problem. Right now, anything that shows up on the news, and it doesn't matter which news outlet, be it the mainstream Democratic press, which is 90% of the press, or even be it Fox News or OAN or whatever. Just be aware they all have agenda, and most of the mainstream news right now also is displaying their TDS during. And look, we're in a stressful, difficult time in our country, and really, obviously, throughout the world, right? This coronavirus has fucked up a lot of stuff, right? And right now, they're just all lashing out. And so any clickbait headline, anything they can get to get eyes on this and be able to try to take somebody down a peg, which is generally the president, they're doing. And so on this story, the very first of all, none of them went to check it. At first, it was in BuzzFeed, it was in Salon, it was in Vice, it was in all these news outlets. And they just someone came out with the headline that these people died. And look, none of these outlets said chloroquine phosphate at first either. All of them were saying it was the exact same drug that these people took that they died from. Not chloroquine phosphate, not a fish tank additive. They all came out with the same story because one story hit and all of them jumped on it without doing any fact checking. And then later they found out it was chloroquine phosphate, which is it has a similar name, but it ain't the same shit. And so now they all do these corrections. Well, some of them did corrections. Some of them still haven't even corrected their stories. They might have added a little, fish something at the end, but they haven't fixed their stories. And that's what pisses me off the most. Quick good morning to Kevin Stillwell. All you need. And Jaeger Pony. Hey, man, it's been a while. Well, not a while. It's been a few days, whatever. But anyway, I'm glad. Oh, and this is Kyle. Did I say this is Kyle? I did say this is Kyle. All right, good. Y'all are here, and I am happy about that. All right, let's see here. Oh, people are liking my Nancy Pelosi meme that I put out there. Anyway, so let's get into some other news of the day, and this is what Gunfox sent me, and I'll use your your link here, Gunfox. I appreciate you sending this out. So we finally got a deal, and this is the part when I said there's two versions of Darwin Awards today, and our fish tank cleaner couple are the first. What's a good word? They're the first iteration of that Darwin Award, but that's an actual Darwin Award. Well, on the other end of the spectrum, we have a political Darwin Award by Nancy Pelosi herself. But let's give you some breaking news, or it's breaking overnight. The White House and Congress agree on a $2 trillion virus rescue bill. This is from the AP. The White House and Senate leaders of both parties announced agreement early Wednesday on an unprecedented $2 trillion emergency bill to rush sweeping aid to businesses, workers, and a healthcare system slammed by the coronavirus pandemic. The urgently needed measure is the largest economic rescue bill in history and is intended as a weeks-long or months-long patch for an economy spiraling into recession or worse, and a nation facing a potentially ghastly toll. To the American people, we say big help, quick help is on the way, said Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. Why do they even give Chuck Schumer the mic after the fuckery he pulled this weekend? But they did. I'm going to keep reading. To the American people, we say big help, quick help is on the way. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat from New York, said Wednesday on CNN. Schumer said he expected approval by the Republican-led Senate later in the day. Again, why did they choose Chuck Schumer? Maybe because Chuck Schumer was one of the dickheads who had it stopped, thanks to his friend Cruella DeVille. That would leave final congressional approval up to the Democratic-controlled House. In a written statement, Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat California, said the bipartisan agreement takes us a long way down the road in meeting the needs of the American people, but stopped short of fully endorsing it. Well, kiss my grits. House Democrats will now review the final provisions and legislative text of the agreement to determine a course of action, she said. House members are scattered around the country, and the timetable for votes in the chamber are unclear. House Democratic and Republican leaders have hoped to clear the measure for President Donald Trump's signature by voice vote without having to call lawmakers back to Washington. But that may prove challenging, as the bill is sure to be opposed by some conservatives upset at its costs and scopes. Now, this... See what they did there? Do you see what they did there? Motherfuckers, these people are so dirty. They are so fucking dirty. So this bill had an agreement as of Saturday out of 5 committees in the Senate. Even Chuck Schumer was touting the fact that they looked like they were going to get it done and have it ready by Monday for signing by the president, or at least taking over the Democrats in Congress. And then Nancy Pelosi swooped in on her K-37X super broom and said, nope, because the 200 Democrats who were talking about it via conference call decided that they did not want to let a good crisis go to waste. And so they said, nah, this ain't working. We're going to make up our own bill. And 48 hours later, they came up with 1,400 pages of straight bullshit with all the little goodies inside and all the little social engineering changes they wanted to make to the world that had nothing to do with this coronavirus package. And they're folding now because they got savaged. Not just by Republicans. This was not a Republicans pounce moment, but by their own constituents. And even some of the Democrats who are saying, what the fuck are you doing? We're going to get blamed for this. And whoever that person was, thank you, sir or madam, because you were exactly right. They got savaged for this. but then you get to this AP article and they pound out an agreement again, which is just basically the same shit they had before. A couple little minor changes. And this article has whoever wrote this shit for the AP has the nerve to make it sound like that the Republicans might be the problem here. House Democrat, Republican. I'm going to read this shit again because this is crazy. House Democrat and Republican leaders have hoped to clear the measure for President Donald Trump's signature by a voice vote without having to call lawmakers back to Washington. But that may prove challenging as the bill is sure to be opposed by some conservatives. Upset at its cost, ardent liberals were restless as well. Sure to be opposed obstructionist language by some conservatives. Ardent liberals were restless as well. They were just restless. They didn't want to put a bunch of bullshit other provisions in it. They were just restless. Top White House aide Eric Ueland announced the agreement in the Capitol Hill hallway shortly after midnight early Wednesday, capping days of often intense haggling and mounting pressure. Some final pieces of the agreement need to be finalized in detailed legislative language. Now they got it down to 500 pages at least. The sprawling 500-page measure is the third coronavirus response bill produced by Congress and by far the largest. That
you're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
Is a lie. The 1,400-page bill was looking up to about $6 trillion. Oh my God. By far the largest, building on earlier efforts focused on vaccines and emergency response, sick and family medical leave for workers, and food aid. It would give direct payments to most Americans, expand unemployment benefits, and provide a $367 billion program for small businesses to keep making payroll while workers are forced to stay home. One of the last issues to close concerned $500 billion for guaranteed subsidized loans to larger industries, including a fight over how generous to be with the airlines. Hospitals will get significant help as well. After days of intense discussion, the Senate has reached a bipartisan agreement on a historic relief package for the pandemic, said Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, a key negotiator. It will rush new resources onto the front lines of our nation's healthcare fight, and it will inject trillions of dollars of cash into the economy as fast as possible to help American workers, families, small businesses, and industries, which hire a hell of a lot of people too, as fast as possible. To make it through the disruption and emerge on the other side ready to soar. Let's see. Do they even mention the bullshit by the... Let's see. 5 days of arduous talk produced the bill, creating tensions among Congress' top leaders who each took care to tend to party politics. Oh, this is not an issue of both sides. As they maneuvered and battled over the crafting of the legislation, but failure was never an option, which permitted both sides to mark big wins. Oh, this is such a bad article. This is so dirty. It's just flat out dirty. So, I don't need to read the rest of this shit. Okay, so let's get into. Let's check out an opinion piece on this because I've had it with the BS. Let's see here. I'll get into the quotes of the day later, and we'll get into hashtag later. I'm gonna do a little bit more on this, and we're gonna keep going. By the way, Before I move on, though, just a reminder that the Morning Light Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Light Live. Please, if you have a moment, or while you're thinking about it, click the share arrow below the screen here and share this out on your favorite social media. And or you can follow me at PDawg Night on Twitter, Minds, and Gab. I always try to put notifications out about the show. And if you want to do super chats or just help a brother out, and you enjoy what you do like, and you don't mind throwing a couple bucks in the tip jar, that is done at the PDawgNight.live link in the description down below. It's also in the chat. It says right there, this show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support this show with your donations and have your super chats read live on the show. Click that link that's in the chat. So let's go. All right, now do I want to we'll get enough coronavirus stuff here in a minute. Let's get into this. Let's get into a couple of these articles. Let's see. Schumer. Oh. Well, here's Nancy Pelosi, just in case you... Now, look, I'm just telling you right now, some of you don't like it when I do that voice, and I'm going to guess it's because you're not thrilled with her voice. But I am going to suggest... I'm going to subject you to it anyway. Let's see here. I think she's on Kramer here. Or is this, wait, maybe this is just Kramer's take. I haven't watched this video, but let's find out. Let's see what Kramer's take is, because Kramer's pretty funny. Oh, this is 20 minutes long. Oh, hell no.
Part of the matter, which is to figure out let's get a deal done. Maybe we can get a deal done right here. I don't see why not. So joining us now is House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Ms. Speaker, it's always great to see you.
Let's just try this.
Good morning, Jim. Thank you for the opportunity to have a conversation.
Oh, I can't even fucking hear.
It's a very, very serious time. Appreciate all the comments I've heard on your show this morning about the seriousness of it and the urgency to get something done.
Will we? Madam Speaker, can we get something done today? I know you as a person, as a practical individual. I know that Secretary Mnuchin is a practical individual. I believe that Senator McConnell can help. Is there any chance that by the end of the day, even though I know that we have disparate bills, that we can just come together in an unusual showing of nonpartisanship? Because we know that there are probably about 150 million working people right now who are watching and listening to you and want to know whether they
are saying, what the fuck is she doing?
I'm glad you have such a large audience. I think there is a real optimism that we could get something done in the next few hours. The Senate bill, the Senate Democrats have done a great job of taking the bill from a place was trickled down for workers. It was about corporate America. We're about the workers. Because this is where
hold up, Nancy. Where do the where do the American workers work? Who do they work for? A lot. If you're worried about American workers, right? Yes. If you only help the workers and they have no jobs to go back to, then what do you got? You help nobody. Shut up.
Thrives, where people have confidence in having an income, having a paycheck, and then willing to spend in a consumer economy. We believe that this is not only good for the workers, the right thing for the country, but also good for the economy. So the question is, who has the left?
Woman, would you buy some new Polygrip? They're just sliding around. We can't understand what the fuck you're saying. I'm sorry. That's so mean. That is so ageist. But I'm old. I can say shit like that. Here.
Leverage. When they put out their bill, it was all corporate America. With all due respect, that corporate America.
Bullshit. The original bill that they worked through the Senate gave people direct payments. It was a balance, and now they're going back to the same shit they had before, but she's trying to make it sound like she's a hero here.
America is the creator of jobs, but nonetheless, unless we were looking out for the workers, that we were never going to have a solution, and that if there was money given to large entities, that they would not have buybacks, bonuses, dividends, CEO
That
pay.
wasn't a big part of your bill. Your bigger part was if the airlines got money, they would have to change their emission standards and this and that, and they would have to have you'd have to have a diversity panel for every board that takes a loan. And you know what? How does that help workers? How does that help anybody with the current situation with coronavirus? If you want to try and pass that bill, write a new bill when y'all get back to Congress after well, I'm not going to say anything super mean. Well, after a couple of you are gone. Anyway, that's cold. Hold on.
That kind of thing. But putting that aside, even that the workers' rights would be respected within that use of that money. We've made big progress in that regard.
You've done nothing. You have done nothing. You didn't even negotiate this new one. All you did was you were there and figured out that you're not going to get your stupid wish list.
In terms of the oversight of the slush fund,
the slush fund. You mean the interest-free loans from the Treasury that people would have to pay back eventually?
$500 billion
The
for the
slush fund.
secretary. I'm very happy that Piers, the Senate, is taking the House language of oversight, which was we had the language in common that we would have an inspector general strictly to have oversight over that.
Okay, that was a small change. What the F are you talking about? Having oversight over it, that's fine. That would have been passed. All you had to do was done that in reconciliation, but no, that's not really why you stopped the bill. You stopped the bill to put all your little wish list in there. Green New Deal. And, the new union stuff that wouldn't help me in my union. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay, you weren't, the bullshit.
Over that money, A, and B, we would have a congressional panel appointed by us of 5 people, constrained, but nonetheless.
Oh, so there'd be more red tape on getting the loans to companies who are trying to, make sure they can get their payrolls. Now look, I am not a fan of this at all. But you know what? If you're going to do it, don't piecemeal it so some sectors get help and others don't. Make sure you're helping the sectors that actually need help. Maybe I can a tiny bit see helping out the airlines or getting them some loans from the Treasury, but I'm not. The whole bailout thing annoys the shit out of me. I want our entire country to get in the mindset that you need to have reserves. Now the other thing too was someone was saying, I saw this comment on Twitter where someone was saying, just regular people are supposed to have, try to have 3 to 6 months reserve funds to, make sure they can make it in times of trouble. But you mean these companies could go down after after a week out of business? Well, that probably should tell you why because a lot of business run on very thin margins. And so when you're talking about, hey, let's raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, now you understand why that's difficult for businesses, because they run on thin margins sometimes. Now, do I think businesses should have to find their own ways, private money bailouts, getting loans or whatever, or have to run on sound principles so they don't have to ask for bailouts? Absolutely. Now, again, I understand that this is an extraordinary circumstance, but I just, it's not, it's one of those extraordinary circumstances you don't want to see, and that's the entire world's going through it. And I get maybe doing this, but again, remember, this money, where's it coming from? Can you smell it? Can you smell where it's coming from? It's coming out of thin air. There is no money. They're just going to print it. They're going to get it out there, and then it goes on to that. It adds on to that debt. Okay. Now, what's funny about this is this money's going to go out, right? And everyone's going to guess what? One of the campaign issues that's going to come up after we go through this crisis, what's going to be one of the big campaign issues related to this so-called bailout? Oh, well, Trump ran up a deficit. Right? Wait for this. When this happens, when they make that a campaign issue, the deficit from this year that Trump ran up the hugest deficits in history, whatever, because of this particular bailout, and they won't say, the Democrats will play it not because of this bailout. They'll just say, well, Donald Trump crashed the economy and crashed the stock market and crashed this and that. Oh, will they forget? Now, are the American people going to fall for a banana in the tailpipe? I don't think so. We ain't falling for no banana, no tailpipe. Okay? I'm pretty sure the American people are going to see this for what it is. It's some bullshit political BS, which is redundant. Bullshit political BS. That's triple redundant. But anyway.
To have oversight over that. It's similar to what we have done in the past.
Similar to what we've done in the past.
But that was major, shall we say, overarching concern.
Right. I have a pledge I'm looking at from Secretary Mnuchin saying that we have agreement on that, which is really important. I know you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's a big change. So
that's not a big change. Whatever.
Concern.
That's a small change. Oh, shocker! The Treasury is going to spend $500 trillion or whatever billion dollars on anything. There's going to be congressional oversight over that. Shocker! That's not a big change. It just puts it in the bill. You don't think there's going to be oversight over that you don't think that if the Judiciary Committee or whatever committee covers the Treasury, if they start spending that money, you don't think they'd drag his ass into Congress and start questioning him on live TV if something untoward happened? Duh. That's a crock of shit. Come on.
Test. We produced 2 bills already in a very strong bipartisan way.
Oh, no, you didn't. What'd she say? No, she didn't just say this. I'm backing this up. Hold up.
Test. We produced 2 bills already in a very strong bipartisan way.
We produced 2 bills already in a strong bipartisan way. Yes, the bill the Senate came up with that they finished on Saturday, and then this bill, which was an agreement as of this morning, or just over the edge of midnight. But notice she doesn't mention the third bill, because this is the third bill, not the second bill. The first bill, strong bipartisan manner. The third bill, almost the same as the first bill, but bipartisan manner. The second bill, however, the one that they came up with in between, was the Democrats' wish list. She's so full of shit.
The first one, giving the money for research, for vaccines, for therapies, and this or that. The next one, I did something I didn't like to do, but to give immunity for liability to the mask producers so that they would sell the mask. They weren't going to sell it unless they had immunity. It's not something I like to do, but weighing the equities, it was necessary to do. So we did that, and that's in the second bill.
Someone asked in the chat, how old is Nancy Pelosi? I think she's 80-something. I don't know, 81, 80. I don't know. She's old. I mean, you know what? She's... except for the slurring and the dentures always falling out, she's barely she's way more lucid for her age than Joe Biden is. Let's just say that. Okay, come on.
And that was why that was important to get that out. Among other things, it was going to unleash the masks. Mm-hmm. Testing. You can't say it enough, but you have to have the right. You have to have the right test. In terms
what
of
the fuck is she
some of the
about?
other things in the bill that had improved, state and local. We wanted a strong infusion of resources for state and local.
Okay, I'm done with this. All she's sitting here trying to do, she's trying to take credit for this bill. Now, let's go back a little bit, because something else fascinating about this is, again, the Senate is passing this. We already know that. The Senate's going to pass it. But they've got to get this through the House. And she said something about being able to do this by unanimous consent, or they're going to have everyone in Congress come back in. Now, first of all these people, I don't know why you would do unanimous. Well, unanimous consent just means that they're, with no objections, this bill will be adopted. Anyone here think that's going to happen? Put a 1 if you think it's going to happen, and 2 if you don't think it's going to happen. There's not going to be one person on the Democratic side, or even the Republican side, because they're all a bunch of assholes, who is going to actually go and say, nope, we're just going to let it go fly. We don't want to add any of our own little goodies to it. 1, if it's going to go, or 2, if someone's going to put a turd in the punch bowl. I'm just saying. All right, let's see, what else do I got here? And then I got here Schumer cries uncle. This is how PJ Media brought this out. Schumer cries uncle. Deal reached on $2 trillion package to pay for our strange new reality. Senate and White House negotiators reached agreement Wednesday on a 2-minute. This is the same article. I don't need to read it again. Here's some of the bill though. $500 billion in loans to major corporations, $367 billion to small business loans, $250 billion unemployment insurance benefits, $250 billion in payments to families, $100 billion for hospitals. Schumer's promised that every American laid off will get help from the government. Americans making under $75,000 will reportedly receive a one-time check of $1,200. This is the second in what is likely to be a series of bills aimed at helping Americans and stimulate the economy. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer suggested earlier this week that there may be 5 packages by the time they're finished. And a good question by Bo Snerdley, Rush Limbaugh's producer. I understand the need for relief. I understand a stimulus package. What I don't understand is, and can't find the answers to, where is $2 trillion? Where will that be coming from? Well, I've already answered that question for my listeners and watchers. That $2 trillion is coming out of, can you smell it? Thin air. It's coming out of our children's futures. Yes, the taxes they will be paying in 2050. Let's see. Well, my kids will be in their 70s in 2050. The taxes they'll be paying in 2050 will still be paying off this bullshit. But whatever. You know what? We need people to be able to make it through the thing. There used to be a time, like during the Great Depression, my grandparents used to talk about the Great Depression, and my great grandfather had a farm, and so they farm vegetables and things like that, and they sold them in town. My great grandfather, the former slave, by the way, he had a small farm in Albion, Iowa. They sold vegetables to the local market, and during the Great Depression, and my other grandfather got his law degree during the Great Depression. But anyway, and people, people helped each other out. Neighbors knew each other's names. If someone needs something, they would help out the neighbor. We don't do that anymore in the country because it's just too big and too unwieldy, and too many people that are just different from you, and this and that, and blah 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 blah. And also, people didn't save. And I hope, again, like I said, I hope this whole situation, maybe it'll bring in a new era of just how to plan ahead for possible emergencies. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Is it her? Nancy Pelosi's district is in San Francisco. She is she's a senator, so it's California. She used to be a representative from San Francisco, and then she went into the Senate in, I think, 1990. want to say 1992 was her first year in the Senate, but before that she was a Congress person in the House of Representatives. So anyway, the answer, of course, is that no one knows. Our children and grandchildren, no doubt, but likely many future generations as well. Those of us who were around during the Tea Party glory days remember the U.S. debt clock. No one talks about that anymore. Why is that? Have we given up? But it's not worth revisiting since we can put the $2 trillion package in perspective. Here's the U.S. debt clock. The national debt is that's out. Let's see. That's million, billion, $23 trillion in debt. 2 trillion seems like a drop in the bucket compared to the 23 trillion national debt that we have now. But when you consider that the federal budget is $4.6 trillion, and tax revenues are only $3.4 trillion, you can see that we have a very serious math problem. Serious doesn't even begin to describe the enormity of the profligate spending that has grown year by year under both Republican and Democrat leadership. It is now set to explode exponentially in the hopes that the massive infusion of cash to the economy will keep us from falling into a recession, or worse yet, another Great Depression. We'll have to wait until later today to find out what's in the bill, but by the numbers listed above, only add up to 1.46 trillion. Yeah, they don't have that. It says it's 2 trillion, but it adds up to 1.46 trillion. How many concessions did McConnell give to Schumer to get him to sign on the dotted line? We can't say it at this point. I think they should have just battered them in the press. Just said, you know what? We had a deal that we already worked out, and it's the Democrats obstructing this. It's Democrats' job to come to the table and fix their shit, which they kind of did. They did kind of cave. Senior GOP source per Schumer's take on the deal, it's the same bill with marginal changes. They're trying to take credit for it. That's the problem. They knew that when this was the Republicans and President Trump did this, which I'm still not thrilled with it. But that's the thing. They knew that Trump and the Republicans were going to get credit. So now they're coming back, just like with the USMCA, saying, well, yes, the Republicans had a bill, but it fell short, and the Democrats came in to, here I come to save the day. Fuck you, assholes. All right. Not you, assholes. You're my assholes. I love you. Those assholes. All right, let's get into Twitter trends because I'm about to blow a gasket and I just can't do it. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do hashtag first. By the way, thank you, Becca Farley. Also, let's see here. RVA Dar, or RVA, and Trekkin' Bear, Tyler F, MC, Hammer Time, and all of you who've been putting this out on social media for me. I really appreciate it. If you're new here, I don't know if anyone's in in lurk mode or you're here for the first time. If you haven't already, Peter Allman, how you doing? I thought I saw your icon there. Good to see you, my man. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscription button and ring the bell when it pops up so that you get notifications. Or again, you can follow me on Twitter, mine's and Gab, which is at PDawg Night. So, let's do the hashtag first today. PDK News. Let's see what we got here. I know, Pete, I think you sent me some stuff. Oh, good, you have. Oh my goodness, there's a bunch of stuff. Oh, I never showed this. This was Pete, you sent me this yesterday, and I wanted to put it up, but I kind of was running out of time. But here's the happiest meme of the day. We'll put it full screen here. I don't know if you can see that. The happiest photo you will see today on the internet. Is that just not the cutest? And yet, was it yesterday that was Puppy Day? I don't remember. I think it was Puppy Day yesterday. Well, isn't that cute? Look at this. The dog is smiling. The kid is smiling. I just love it. Okay. All right. Thank you, Pete, for sending that. Also on the hashtag, let's see. Beachcombers can find little treasures now and then. Of course, sometimes something big comes along. Oh my God. Suspicious military. Okay, let's check this out. Suspicious military device washes up on outer banks of the beach. It won't explode, cops say.
Wow.
An intimidating device that looks exactly like a naval mine came ashore in the Outer Banks, alarming people in the small town of Chippendale Hills, Charlotte, North Carolina. The barrier islands of North Carolina have a history of collecting mines, torpedoes, and military ordnances lost at sea. In this case, however, Chippendale Hills police believe it's a target rather than a bomb. So this curious visitor washed up to the beach today, Monday, near the 5th Street beach access. It has understandably caused some concern, but it is not dangerous, the department posted on Facebook. Would you, if that shit right there floated up on a beach, I would be nervous too, wouldn't you? I'm just saying. Holy smokes. All right, thank you for that one, Pete. We got more. Let's get rid of that. And let's see. Army's 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment, known as the Old Guard, continues to watch over the tomb of the unknown soldier. Oh man. There's a sacred duty not even a pandemic can stop. The right of continuity still carried out at Arlington National Cemetery, even as much of the country shuts down. The sentinels who guard the tomb of the unknown soldier recently marked more than 30,000 days of constant watch over the remains of identified U.S. service members, a streak persisting through the pandemic. For us, it doesn't matter if it's a hurricane or if it's a coronavirus, said Captain Harold Earls in an interview. We are always here. We are always guarding. The Army's 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment, more commonly known as the Old Guard, continues to watch over the tomb 24/7. Wow. That has me a little verklempt. That's an awesome story, so that's good. They haven't broken the continuity. Pee napkin. Oh, do I want to see this? This is from the Smoking Gun. Pete, you're on a roll. Let's see. These are just all right. Okay, I don't know what this. Oh, okay. Pee napkin prompts fight. Domestic bust. And like any good Florida story, this one begins with a naked couple brawling inside a car parked in the mall. Late Sunday evening, cops responded to the Clearwater Mall after receiving a report about a fight in progress. Witnesses told officers that after hearing a woman screaming within the parking lot, they discovered the two naked within the car and wrestling with each other. Cops separated the couple, identified in an arrest affidavit Robert Janish, a 21-year-old Minnesota resident. Wait a minute. Never mind. He looks familiar too. Oh God. And his girlfriend of 6 months, both of whom admitted to drinking alcohol today. During police questioning, the pair said that a physical confrontation occurred after they finished having sex inside the vehicle. The woman, cops reported, said after she had intercourse with Janish in their car, she had to urinate. She did so outside the car, and that's when the trouble began. After she wiped herself, she accidentally threw the napkin on Janish. Okay. Upon re-entering the car, the couple began arguing, and Janice, police alleged, choked the victim for several seconds, prompting her to scream for help. Oh, good God. Okay, I can't. That's all. That's enough. That's enough information. Thieves try Mission Impossible. No, we're going to skip that one. And the overnight White House Senate reached the $2 million stimulus package. So we already got that one. Let's get into Twitter trends. At the top of the Twitter trends, they don't have the coronavirus thing. They have Little Fires Everywhere, now streaming on Hulu. Apparently some show with, what's her name? She was in Legally Blonde and I don't know. And then this woman was just in a movie I saw last night, Tyler Perry's Medea and something, The Funeral. I don't know. Reese Witherspoon. I don't know. Little Fires Everywhere. Anyone watch that shit? I do not care. I bet if I refresh this though, let's see this. Wow, he got pissy. Yes, he did. If I refresh this, it'll be something about coronavirus, I bet. And nope, Little Fires Everywhere. Okay, the promotion is bigger than the coronavirus tab that they normally have up here. So let's move on. Trending number 1 today, Prince Charles has tested for coronavirus. I saw a report yesterday that it's very possible that half of Great Britain may already have the coronavirus, but a mutated form that's causes less issues. Doesn't necessarily get you into the COVID-19 sickness. Prince Charles has been advised he was contagious with coronavirus starting on March 13th, the royal source says. The prince last saw Queen Elizabeth on March 12th, according to Buckingham Palace. Which, I just don't know. He's old, and she is definitely old. But they seem to be really healthy people, and I don't know why that is. I mean, they're amazing people as far as what seems to be their health, especially the Queen. I mean, she's 95 years old. Anyway, amazing disease. This COVID-19 seems primarily to target the likes of Prince Charles and Idris Elba, but not nurses, homeless people, and carers. I wonder why that is. Look, y'all. I know y'all have this. It's a class thing. Are normal people getting tested? Just not non-celebrities? They kind of are. That's you caught the snark in that comment, didn't you? Anyway, ABC News says he's been displaying mild symptoms, but otherwise remains in good health and has been working from home throughout the last few days as usual. What do you mean working from home? What the fuck does Prince Charles do? Working at home, he does what? Some charity or some shit? He doesn't have a job. It's not like my kid. My kid's a software engineer. He's working from home, but that's working from home, like your job. Prince Charles don't have a job. He's working from home. Shut the fuck up. Let's see what other things say. Oh, waking up to find that Prince Charles has coronavirus. God. These people are savage. Savage, having Diana smirking. Prince Charles and so many other celebrities and high government officials are testing positive for the coronavirus, even without any serious symptoms, because either the virus is targeting the rich and famous while sparing the poor and the homeless, or they have access to tests. This is Dr. Eugene Gu. Yeah. I know sometimes the facts of life hurt, but of course, sometimes these people are just, yes, you know what? High government officials being tested is probably a good idea. Okay, I think the president of a country or prime ministers, people who have, functions. First of all, I guess I don't have a problem with them being tested. I don't have a problem with the Senate, people in the Senate being tested. Because unfortunately, they are the people who do the stuff that helps keep the country run somewhat. I mean, they're not the guys who, sweep the streets or, pump, deliver the gas and shit, but they're also, well, let's just say the stimulus bill. Let's say the entire Senate and Congress went down with this before the stimulus bill went. Then there would be no stimulus bill. So some of these people bitching because, now I don't understand the celebrities. I don't want to hear about another fucking celebrity who has it. I don't care. If they get it because they had symptoms and they got treated, that's fine. But I don't care. I don't want to hear about them. They're testing thousands and thousands of people now. That's fantastic. They finally got the tests up and they got them gone. Anyway, Piers Morgan, a Daily Mail journalist, looking for a way to blame Meghan Markle for Prince Charles testing positive for the coronavirus. All right, moving on. Trending number 2 on the Twitters today is Wednesday Thoughts, as opposed to Wednesday Thoughts. Maybe we'll come up with a couple of each. Let's go here to Wednesday Thoughts. Don't go to work today. Domino's. Interesting. It finally happened. All employees are sitting outside our store on strike. This morning, our GM announced he would no longer continue working unless offered paid sick leave, and store shut down for 14 days, as our entire store has been confirmed to have been exposed to COVID-19. He then told us good luck and walked outside. Every single driver on shift right now followed him outside. The other 2 insiders did as well. The store is fucking empty. Every employee is sitting outside the store on the curb, turning away anyone who tries to come inside. I peeked inside a few minutes ago and we're like 85 orders down, and you can see tags just pouring out of the printer. Franchise owners have become aware of this and are apparently on their way to talk to us in person. Hopefully local news comes here as well, as the word about this is spreading pretty quick. I urge you guys to do the same. So that's a Wednesday thought. I deliver food over the lunch hour where I am here in the Twin Cities too, and we haven't even thought of that yet. The people who, we're doing a service, we're getting people fed, and you never know what's going on. Admit it. The sexiest thing in this photo is the bottle of hand sanitizer on my counter. Okay, there's our first Wednesday thought, but hey, the sexiest thing in this photo, there it is. Hey baby, I got some hand sanitizer. You want to go rub some all over me? I know everyone out there is excited about getting $1,200, which is not going even enough to cover any given leader of our government Friday night bar tab. They won't be having any bar tabs for a while, dear. All right, and then finally, here's a Wednesday thought. I need practice social distancing from the refrigerator. Have y'all been eating a lot more since this social distancing thing isn't coming out? I'm eating all the time. I've been gaining about, I better not gain 20 pounds from this social distancing bullshit. All right, here we go. Moving on. Stimulus bills trending number 3. Shocker that it's even trending that low. Hang on, what did the header say? White House Senate reached $2 trillion coronavirus package. What are the people saying on Twitter about the stimulus bill? Let's find out. Top one here. Don't give the airlines a dime unless they give people back some legroom and some dignity. Stimulus bill. Yeah, I always have to pay extra for the more roomy seats because I cannot sit in I'm 6'4". And I can't sit in an airplane. If you fly Spirit Airlines and you don't get a bulkhead seat, I am screwed for any long distance flight. So the last time when we went to flew to New Orleans, we spent an extra $100 per ticket and got the comfort seat that have an extra 4 inches of leg room. Oh my God, that saved my life. Elizabeth Warren is a Joe Arpaio Democrat. Okay, if you don't know what that means, there's a person who here's a person, Elizabeth Warren, apparently one of her donors, according to whatever those records you look up, one of her donors also maxed out Joe Arpaio for Senate. I'm like, who is it that is who is it that's donating to both Elizabeth Warren and Sheriff Joe Arpaio? If you know who that is, that's that former sheriff from Arizona who used to make the inmates wear pink underwear and all this other shit, put them in tents and shit. Who is donating to Joe Arpaio and to Elizabeth Warren? Unless it's someone trying to agitate, keep Warren in the race to get rid of Bernie Sanders. I don't know. Anyway, he says, I love how the Corona stimulus bill banned Trump from profiting off the bill. That's essentially an admission of guilt by Republicans that Trump violates the emoluments clause. Resist really fucked up focusing on Russian conspiracy theories instead of emoluments. Look, no, it's not an admission. It's not an admission of anything, you asshat. It's an admission that Democrats were trying to politicize this, claiming that Trump was going to try to profit off the bill. They hate him so much they had to put a clause in there because, he does own hotels, and they're struggling right now. But you know what? I don't care. Anyway, let's see. One more stimulus bill. What's important today is fear most Americans had of where next paycheck was coming is now mitigated. You should all rejoice. This will have a multiplier effect to keep employers in business for follow-on pay. My concerns about this debt are for another day. I'm concerned about the debt right frickin' now. Oh, and this is great. The stimulus bill is a disaster, and most of the bad stuff isn't being reported or discussed by Schumer. Here's my quick and dirty analysis by Matt Stoller. He's, oh God, who's Matt Stoller? He used to be, who did he used to be with? I don't remember. I don't have time to read his article though. Anyway, some people are not happy. Oh, no rent freeze, no student debt. No, there shouldn't be student debt forgiveness in the fucking stimulus bill. That's for another day. One-time payment, no money until May. Money will be of course the money will be taxed. They tax everything. They tax you. Never mind. Am I being charged interest? Do some have to pay this back? Is this a loan? Because it's definitely not relief. It's a bullshit attempt at shutting us up. Well, Thea, I'm sorry. I'm not sure. What do you expect? It's already money coming out of where? Where's the money coming from? Can you smell it? Thin air. Let's see what else is trending on Twitter today. Wednesday motivation, we're going to skip because we already did our Wednesday item of the day. Let's go to, wait, it's not clicking. Click it again. Here we go. Wednesday motivations, number 4. Stimulus plans, number 5. We're going to skip that one because we just did. I knew I had cabin fever when? I knew I had cabin fever after the first week of homeschooling. 1 kid suspended, 1 expelled, and 1 teacher fired for drinking on the job. Yes! That's just one of those too. I knew I had cabin fever when I started labeling my pajamas 9 a.m. PJs and 9 p.m. PJs. Yes, that's awesome. I knew I had cabin fever when I saw a group of squirrels outside and I was jealous. That's good. That's good. I knew I had cabin fever when I started to understand my baby's babbles. Her agoo. Me, yes, I could use another snack as well. Very good. I knew I had cabin fever when my teenage daughter, who normally thinks everything I do or think is mortifying, agreed to do a COVID-19 grad 2020 photo shoot. There she is. Okay, there we go. By the way, I knew I had cabin fever when my son called me and asked me how I was doing. Who's this? Who? What's your name? No, my son's great. I love my son. He's a great kid. So is my daughter. They're both fantastic. They've been checking up on their parents because their parents are getting older. I knew I had cabin fever when I arranged my daughter's stuffed animals in order of who I'd like to be friends with first. These are awesome. I knew I had cabin fever when I drove to the mailbox because I missed my car. I knew I had cabin fever when Netflix no longer even bothered to ask if I was still watching. Oh my gosh, these are really good. I knew I had cabin fever when I started finding faces in the carpet patterns. Okay, I rewrote the lyrics to Kool and the Gang's celebration called Isolation. Let's try this out. It's a self-isolation. It's self-isolation. Isolation time. Come on. Let's isolate. There's a virus going on right here. A world pandemic to last throughout the year. So take your face mask and your hand soap too. We're gonna quarantine, no parties for you. Come on now, isolation. I will, I'm done singing it, but that's cute. Very well done. Nicely done. Moving on, we're going into Rhino. Oh, Rhino, Republican name only is trending. Who's the Rhino today? Which one is the Rhino? Who's this? Let's see here. More evidence. Oh my goodness. Donald Trump tweeted something. This is real great news. I'm so happy I can barely speak. He may have been a terrible presidential candidate and even a worse U.S. senator, but he's a Rhino and like him, and I like him a lot. And he was replying to, I think, something that Mitt Romney tested negative. Mitt Romney tested negative for coronavirus. They thought he might have it. He had, okay. This is really great news. I'm so happy I can really speak. He may have been a terrible presidential candidate and an even worse senator, but he is a rhino, and I like him a lot. Okay, and that's why rhino's trending. Okay, sometimes I see this is one of those times. Okay, this is one of those times where I go. Someone got in my case for that when I retweeted that Donald Trump says stupid shit sometimes. And you don't have to be a fan of Mitt Romney. You could have left it at, this is really great news. And it would have been fine. He didn't have to. More evidence is, if there anywhere needed, of Trump's utter lack of soul, not to mention the absurdity of calling Romney a rhino. As someone who's regularly called rhino by GOP cult members, welcome to the club, Mitt Romney. You are the real Republican. Thank you for bringing honor back to the party. The syntax of this tweet indicates that Trump doesn't know what rhino means. Not necessarily. Speaking of rhino, Trump has changed his party affiliation 5 times, according to Wikipedia. Trump returned to the Republican Party in April 2012. Whatever. This is one of those times where I go, he's just one of those Republicans. No, he's one of rhino. Not necessarily. I mean, I wouldn't call Mitt Romney a rhino. I just says sometimes he's becoming the new John McCain. He's a Republican when he wants to be, but how much attention can he draw to himself? Although I don't know. Romney's a fairly humble guy. He just doesn't get along with Trump. That's all there is to it. Whatever. All right, moving on. Stuart Gordon. Rest in peace, Stuart Gordon. Horror director Stuart Gordon dies at age 72. I'm not really familiar with him. Let's see. Cult classic horror director dies at 72. Here, let's see if we can get just a blurb about what he did. Let's see. This is from Variety. Stuart Gordon, cult classic horror director, dies at 72. Stuart Gordon, best known as the filmmaker behind such cult classics as Reanimator and From Beyond. Okay, I know those 2 movies. Has died. His family confirmed to Variety Tuesday night. He was 72 years old. Also, although best known for his seminal work in independent horror, Gordon had a varied career that included founding the Organic Theater Company with his wife, Carolyn Purdy Gordy. Okay, so rest in peace to Stuart Gordon. Moving on. Let's see. Mike Breen. Who's this? Who's that? Who dat? Mike Breen. Mike Breen's voice announcing safety protocols is money like the shot. Bang. Okay, this is why he's trending for this right here.
Hey everyone. Man, do I miss NBA basketball. And I know you do too. And I can't wait to get
He's an
back
NBA
to the
announcer.
arena where we watch our extraordinary players do extraordinary things. But we have to play our role. And I know you're tired of hearing this, but wash your hands. I mean, wash your hands. 20 seconds, lots of soap, lather up. And don't be touching your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. But most importantly, practice social distancing. It's not just some phrase. It's our way of life right now, and we have to practice it. So please do your part, and we'll get back to doing what we love to do, and that's watch NBA basketball, and for me, it's call NBA basketball. NBA together. Bang.
Nice. Now, I wonder if he did that in one take, but it sure looks smooth, didn't it? All right. Nice job, Mike Breen, and that's why he's trending. Good for him. Bindi Irwin. If any of you speak ill of Bindi Irwin for having her wedding despite the pandemic, it's on site. They didn't have any guests, and it was at the zoo where basically live can let you can you let people where they basically live. Can you people let people have one happy moment? So Bindi Irwin is Steve Irwin's daughter. Remember the crocodile hunter? And she had her wedding. Are people trashing her though? Tell Terry Irwin came from America and met Steve Irwin at the Australian Zoo. He said it was love at first sight. Fast forward, a boy came from America to see the Australian Zoo and is now married to Bindi Irwin. Full circle. Okay, are people trashing or are they being cool about it? Bindi's wedding nightmare. 43 people who attended Bindi Irwin's wedding have now tested positive for COVID-19. Oh, this is okay. That's not the article. This news outlet's in about a week's time. They're going to lie because no one attended Bindi Irwin's wedding. In fact, breaking. It's understood that Bindi Irwin is about to get married at Australia's Zoo to beat the new rules surrounding weddings that come in effect at midnight. But she did not. There was no guest at the wedding. There was just the people who were part of the wedding. So, auto blocking anyone I see who comes for Bindi Irwin after. Okay, that's the same thing. All right, cool. Anyway, congratulations, Bindi Irwin. I know you're watching. Fran Drescher. Oh, the nanny is trending. If you know who the nanny is, with everyone excited about Fran Drescher's recent anti-capitalist tweet, let me remind you, she's been vocal about this since 2014. So what did Fran Drescher say today? I always wonder why USA treat this like a celebration and make a huge sale everywhere like it's Christmas. It's not Christmas, it's capitalism, okay? Right on, mama. When capitalism runs amok, okay, she's not the brightest bulb in the tree. We all suffer. Lock elbows and know who the real enemy is. Fred Drescher, who made millions for having a really annoying voice. Democracy is a nation by and for the people. Capitalism ultimately oppresses workers for the gain of a few. No, it gives people a way to earn their food without having to go hunting every fucking day. How's that sound? You know, that's what capitalism does, because in socialism, you might have to wait in a bread line and never get any bread. Capitalism is just another exchange, a way to hunt without having to hunt. Okay? If there was no companies, if there's no capitalism, if there were no markets, what would you have to do for food every day? You'd either have to take it out of the garden you grew and saved, or you'd have to go hunt for it. Okay? It's just another form of the labor that keeps you and your family sustained. Because some people accumulate more wealth than others, well, they made different choices than I did. I wish I would have made different choices when I was younger. If I knew then what I do now. When I was younger. Okay, sorry. I don't care about Fran Drescher's capitalism thing. What else are they saying about her? I don't really expect the revolution to be led by Fran Drescher and Britney Spears. Yeah, Britney Spears did some shit too yesterday, complaining about capitalism. Are you Britney Spears, who's probably worth $50 million minimum? Give me a break. Got here and saw Fran Drescher was trending and had a whole ass heart attack until I found out she's okay and leading the revolution. Oh, is she really leading the revolution? Do you think? Come on, guys. We gotta have a revolution. Get the fuck out of here. Come on. I don't care. Trump to New York. Oh, yeah, they're saying that Trump wants people to die. I can't believe what Trump is doing to my city. If my column could cry, it would. Trump to New York, drop dead. White House official tells the Beast that Trump's problems with New York stem from Cuomo not being good and respectful enough to Trump. Look! Oh my God. So this is the New York Times. The New York Times opinion column. It says Trump to New York, drop dead. They cannot help themselves. Jennifer Sr. Untold thousands will likely die absent federal intervention. Do you think that's... I'm just going to read a couple paragraphs. So it's essentially coming to this. President Trump is treating each of our 50 states as individual contestants on the apprentice, pitting them against one another for scarce resources, daring them to duke it out, rather than mobilizing a unified national response to a pandemic. If that's the case, this is the episode where New York loses. The coronavirus is whipping through the state, especially New York City, at a terrifying rate. We need personnel, ventilators, personal protection equipment, stat. Okay, but Trump's response has been the same as President Gerald Ford's in 1975, when our city, faltering on the brink of insolvency, begged Washington for help and was brutally rebuffed, a moment forever enshrined in the Daily News headline, Ford to City, drop dead. Now, let me think about this. When Ford, whatever Ford did as far as New York City and handouts, did New York survive? Is there still a New York City? Did New York City eventually thrive again? Well, of course they did. Untold thousands will likely die absent federal intervention, and it needs to happen this instant, not just for the good of the city, but for the nation. The president needs to set a precedent in his hometown. On Tuesday morning, Governor Cuomo opened his daily coronavirus briefing on a far more somber note than usual, noting that the number of cases was climbing at a faster rate even than the experts predicted, doubling roughly every 3 days. The apex was higher than we thought, and the apex sooner than we thought, he said, is a bad combination of facts. What magic wand is Trump going to wave? This sucks. Now, what it means, practically speaking, our hospitals will soon be overwhelmed with COVID-19 patients. The governor has already said that the state is 30,000 ventilators short. Yeah, I know. That's an interesting number that he has there, because I know that their supply of ventilators was short. That wasn't restocked after some point. Now, I'm not even blaming this on Cuomo. I'm just saying this is, let's see. The only way to acquire the volume we need, delivered at the speed we need, is through federal intervention, which means sending the bulk of the ventilators from the Strategic National Stockpile, which has roughly 20,000, and deploying the Defense Production Act to force private manufacturers to make more. There are already manufacturers making more. They don't make them in one day. And no matter, even if he had done that a week ago, you would not have your ventilators yet, because the companies that have to retool to make those items have to retool to make those items. It's not something that you just, oh, you know what? Hey, we were making cars before, but we're going to make ventilators now. So let's just flip this part that makes carburetors to the other side and it automatically will make ventilators. Doesn't work like that. There are companies retooling to do this, but they're not, it's not going to happen today. It may not be, you may not see any of them for 15, 20 days, but there's already companies doing it. It's just, this is another one of those op-eds that's not helpful. All it does is it's a bitch article. I'm gonna bitch, and I get it. It's frustrating for everybody. Trump said state governors have to treat us well if they want help fighting coronavirus. He was impeached for withholding aid for personal gain less than 2 months ago. You saw my picture I put up here. Trump hates our city because we know he's a fraud. Yeah, that's why that. I wouldn't be shocked if that was trending number one by later today, especially with that headline. Moving on, Brit. Oh, it's kind of moving around now. Maybe it actually moved down. What is Brit Hume's trending? Why? Maybe he said something that people are. Brit Hume speculates that opposition to reopening segments of the economy could be about more than saving lives. Brit Hume has a theory on why some people don't want. Okay, what is this? Brit Hume says it's entirely reasonable viewpoint to expect that grandparents would be willing to die to protect the economy. Because that's Media Matters spin. That's Media Matters bullshit. Now it's funny. Note how the only quote part of this is an entirely reasonable viewpoint is the only part of this statement that's in quotation marks. Everything else that's not in quotation marks, he didn't say that. I might go check this out a little more heavily and come back with this one tomorrow. People busting Brit Hume's chops because he knows our economic collapse is just as dangerous as the stupid virus, the stupid burns. I'm totally fine with Brit Hume, Glenn Beck, and Lieutenant Governor of Texas dying so my economic future will be secure. Oh, you meant my loved ones dying, then fuck you. Okay, that's what he meant. Let me get into it. Let's watch it. God, I didn't want to do this, but what does he actually say? How long is this clip? Let's see. If it's too long, if it's more than 3 minutes, I'm not going to watch it. And it's not. Today, okay. I'm just telling you, if it's more than 3 minutes, I'm going to immediately drop out of it. Of course, it may take 3 minutes just to get it working. Holy shit. All right, I don't have time. Sorry, guys. Oh, that's because I'm having. Okay, all right, whatever. Anyway, so people are pissed at Brit Hume. I'm gonna guess that's not what he meant. Hump Day is trending. Never click the Hump Day tab unless you want to see a bunch of people's asses. I'm not clicking it. Tabla, whatever that is, something with food. Let's go through the rest of these quick. Floyd did so much to advance the cause of Indian food and Indian people in America. He was generous, funny, and warm, and I've always wished I could turn back time and eat a tabla, sending love to his family. Okay, coronavirus. Chef Floyd Cardoz, co-owner of Bombay Canteen, dies in Mumbai. That's too bad. Another person that obviously people have some respect for, and it's unfortunate, man. Rest in peace. All right, let's go. Wacky Wednesday, we'll skip that. Floyd Cardoz, that's the one we did. Happy birthday, Casey. Nope. And Carl Anthony Towns of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Oh, this is not good. An emotional Carl Anthony Towns revealing that his mother, diagnosed with the coronavirus, is in a coma and connected to a ventilator. He's clearly trying to further alert the public to the seriousness of this pandemic. This disease is real. This disease needs to not be taken lightly. Please protect your families, your loved ones, your friends, yourself. NBA player Carl Anthony Towns says his mother is in a coma and urges people to take COVID-19 seriously. So here's the message from Carl Anthony Towns.
What's up, guys? Just something to update you on my life. Just yesterday found the strength to do this video. I think it's important that everyone understands the severity of what's happening in the world right now with this coronavirus. And I think where my life is right now could help. So I decided to do this video and just give you an update of where I'm at. So I was told early last week my parents weren't feeling well. My first reaction to her was to go seek medical attention immediately. There's no reason to wait. Just go to the nearest hospital. And after a couple days of not getting and showing any signs of improvement, I was very adamant on the first day to go to a hospital and seek further evaluation. Specifically, me and my sister had told her she needs to get checked for corona. I don't think anyone really understood what it was, with deteriorating condition. And so she kept getting worse. And the hospital was doing everything they can. I was doing everything I could. Still am. And she just wasn't getting better. Her fever was never cutting from 103, maybe go down to 101.9 with the meds, and then immediately spiked back up during the night. She was very uncomfortable. Her lungs were getting worse. Her cough was getting worse. She was deteriorating. From her eyes. We always felt that the next medicine would help. The next one would help. This is the one that's going to get it done. This mixture is going to get it done. They released my dad with quarantine.
Okay, so I've done a couple camps with Carl Anthony Towns. Really nice kid. And my heart goes out to him. Hopefully things get better for his mom. We're going to end the show on that note. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Real quick, just checking the notifications just to make sure. All right, good. Just a reminder, this is happening in 193 countries around the world. Everybody's going through this mess. And so when people, spend so much time on their own politicians, blaming it on them, how it's going to stop and what's going to happen here, where the supply is going. Got to remember, every country in the world's going through this. Every country in the world's ordering these supplies. Every country in the world has this problem. And so we just got to do what we can to alleviate these spread as much as you can. Practice the social distancing. Do it, especially where you live. Make sure you're listening to the local politicians. No matter what Donald Trump says in those press conferences, it doesn't apply the same everywhere you are. Okay, your local government, your local state government, local and state governments, or local wherever you live, and wherever you live in the world, your local government is going to be key to the key people to listen to. Yes, your national leaders are important also, but your local governments are going to give you probably the best information for where you live. So anyway, and on that note, that's it for today on the Morning Night Live. If you like what you saw or you like what's going on here, please hit the thumbs up button on the way out the door. Also, we're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT for people in other parts of the world. And if you would be so kind to hit that share arrow and share this out. And also, if you ever want to support the show through donations or tip, just throwing something in the tip jar. If I entertained you and you want to throw something in the tip jar, you can do that at the PDawgnight.live website below, which is my Streamlabs link. And then also follow me on Twitter, Minds, Gab to get notifications about the show if you can't get the normal notifications from YouTube because they need to fix their shit. But you can also subscribe and click the bell to make sure you get those notifications. It is time for me to go, people. I appreciate you being here. Of course, my name is PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here.